Welcome to highlights of stage 1 of the Ruta del Sol of Vuelta a Andalucia. With me, Jez Cox. There is the route for stage 1 between Ubrique and Isnaja. It's the most southwesterly of the 5 stages of this year's race, working its way northwestward, as is the way with most of the stages this week, taking in the biggest climbs right at the very beginning. And the Puerto de El Boyar was the climb which served up the breakaway you can see in front of you right now. 8 riders, and there are the names on there. 2 Belgians from the Sport Vlaanderen and Baloise team, Rune Herregods and Lindsay de Wilde. And then the Euskaltel Euskadi rider Xavier Isada as well alongside. Another Spaniard, Ander Okamika, Mark Christian of Great Britain and Stephen Bassett of the USA. At one point they had in excess of 15 minutes of lead, but that started coming down gradually. Into the last 30k they were under 6.5 minutes, and that time kept going down. All the while we were expecting the big teams of Bora Hansgrohe, Ineos Grenadiers and Team Bike Exchange Jayco to wind them in well before the finish, but it did not happen. A gentle breeze pressing from their left all the time meant that the breakaway really pressed on and made good advantage, going into the final 20k with around about 5 minutes of lead. Gradually 1 or 2 riders started dripping off the back. The first of those was Wojtek Repa of the Akiko Kern Pharma. And going into the final, the base of the final climb, the pressure was really on in our main peloton, being led initially by Ineos Grenadiers to try and bring things back and keep their race leader, we suspect Carlos Rodriguez, out of trouble. And the pace was really high on the long descent all the way down to the reservoir and the bridge that crossed it. At this point it was evident the breakaway was definitely going to survive, and it was the Belgian Rune Herregods pushing the pace and distancing 3 of the strongest riders in that group from the rest of them as well. The peloton itself was not holding up either. Remember, the race was going on for general classification both in the breakaway and in our main peloton as well. In the end, 1s and 2s dripping off the back. An awful lot of work had been done by Lindsay de Wilde, the Belgian, to help out Rune Herregods. There he is, up at the front in the yellow and blue, and set things up for him. Behind, a big attack from Alessandro Covi of the UAE Team Emirates on the back of Zdeněk Stybar's attack for Quick-Step Alpha Vinyl as well. So the big classic stars really firing at this stage too. The first final attack came from Stephen Bassett, the American rider for Human Powered Health, but he'd gone just a little bit too soon. Rune Herregods, the Belgian, on the hoods there, tucked in behind him. Those two actually came together, shoulder to shoulder, just before the finish, as you see right there. And it was Rune Herregods who bounced off Stephen Bassett, the American, and drove hard to the line. The Belgian becoming not only the winner of stage 1, but of course the yellow jersey wearer and race leader. Behind, the Italian Alessandro Covi hung on, and just behind him Matteo Trentin, showing his good form ahead of the start of classic season, right on the line as well. A brilliant finale, and the kind of finale you can expect to see all weeks. Biggest win of his career for Rune Herregods. Only turned pro last year for Sport Vlaanderen and Baloise, and what a ride today. He was not holding back in that breakaway again, attacking multiple times coming into the finish. There's the final result confirmed. The Spaniards didn't get it their way today, but they were there in good number 2. And you can see from 8th place down, 7th place down I should say, the remnants of our peloton behind the 6 riders from that breakaway that made it to the finish. The best of those, Rune Herregods, the Belgian rider for the Belgian Sport Vlaanderen and Baloise team. He leads overall by 2 seconds from the American rider, Stephen Bassett. Well, do join us for tomorrow's stage, stage 2, which finishes up the cobbled climb of Alcalá la Real.